For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. Now, the word says that all things work together for good to those who love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. Whatever happens, God enters into it. A lot of times people think that God is causing things to happen. And so they find it very difficult to reconcile what they consider bad things in a way that leaves them thinking that God, caused a plane to crash or a boat to sink or a hurricane to come on shore and kill people. You'll hear people say, well, if there was a God, why doesn't he stop? Why doesn't he stop these things from happening? God enters into the situations that happen. And in those situations, he works his perfect will for them that look to him for their eternal salvation. God is not a servant for you to command. I would suggest it was the other way around. If there's any servitude necessary to be commanded by someone, it would be me or you, right? Us doing the work that God would command, not the other way around. He's not an elected official, right? Who ran for office to serve you. He is the omnipresent, all-powerful, all-knowing God that speaks, and by his will, once spoken, those things happen. So I like to think in terms of everything that happens in a season. All right? 3 years from now, a seed planted will grow. Its season has come. Fast forward, I don't know how many years, decades, centuries, whatever the case is. That seed that grew into a mighty tree will cease to be. So the season comes when it dies. For all things that happen, there is appointed seasons and times. That is by no means, that one should walk away thinking that I'm saying that God does not command things to happen, whether we think they're good or bad. All things work together for his good, for his purpose, right? But I'm saying that people say that, right? So I'm just throw these things out here for you to think about, right? This is my Bible study time. I like to explore these things. That's what I do here every night with you. All right. Clearly, there's a time to be born, and clearly there is a time to die, right? Everybody that's born has a time. It's appointed time. Your appointed time to be born is now. Some may not get the time to be born, even though one might think that they would. The safest place in the world ought to be in the womb of the mother, but that's another subject for another day. A time to be born and a time to die. Right? There comes a time to die. The Bible says that it's appointed unto a man once to die, after that the judgment. You just don't know when your time is, but it is coming. And nothing anybody do is going to change that. Nothing. Everyone on the planet, with the exception of those that maybe get caught up in the rapture, right? They're translated. They're walking around one day, breathing, talking, and then all of a sudden God calls them and they translate, which referred to as the rapture. Beyond that, right? Mostly everybody on the planet will die. It is the one thing that happens to every human being, but it's the one thing most people are the least prepared for. If people discussed death in a way that was productive, then one would have to seriously consider what happens after you die. Is there something greater than you right now? Is there a God to whom you're going to have to give an account to? Is there a creator to whom you're going to have to give an account to? Or do you just cease to be? Right? Those would be more topics of discussion, because people would think of themselves as being very finite. They're not eternal. So what happens if your life is short-circuited by any number of things? Right? I'm just saying. You put things in proper perspective. So it's appointed unto a man once to die, and then after that, the judgment. Our current state of affairs leaves us lacking when it comes to judgment. Will you pass the judgment seat of God? If this is for those of you who don't believe that there's a God, but find yourself watching this program, it's not by accident. All right. So if there is a God, would you pass judgment? And if you believe yes, on what basis?